A wife comes home late one night and quietly opens the door to her bedroom. From under the blanket, she sees 4 legs instead of just her husband's 2. She reaches for a baseball bat and starts hitting the blanket as hard as she can. Once she's done, she goes to the kitchen to have a drink. As she enters, she sees her husband there, reading a magazine. He says, "Hi, darling, your parents have come to visit us, so let them stay in our bedroom." "Did you say hello?" A man is recovering from surgery when the surgical nurse appears and asks him how he is feeling. "I'm okay, but I didn't like the 4-letter words the doctor used in surgery," he answered. "What did he say?" asked the nurse. "Oops." A girl at a bus stop spotted a handsome man, and without hesitating, she went to him and said, "You look cute. I like you." The man, out of shock, simply placed his hand on her shoulders and said, "My dear, this love and infatuation are all nothing. You're too young to be behaving like this. Please go home and study hard so that you can have a successful life." He then placed a piece of paper in her hand and said, "I have written some words of wisdom and religious verses for you. Read them before you go to sleep. God loves you." And he walks away. The girl went back to her hustle in shame and guilt. Before she sleeps, she opened the paper and read, and it was, "Are you blind? My wife was standing behind me. This is my number. Call me. Anyway, I love you too." At 92, Mr. Whitmore strolled into the doctor's office with a twinkle in his eye and a bow tie that hadn't seen a wrinkle in decades. "Doc," he beamed, "I just married a 25-year-old beauty. And guess what? We've got a baby on the way." The doctor smiled, nodded thoughtfully, and said, "Let me tell you a little story, Mr. Whitmore. An old friend of mine, about your age, loves to go duck hunting every fall. One morning he got halfway to the lake and realized he'd forgotten his shotgun shells. But he went anyway. When a duck flew overhead, he pointed his empty shotgun, yelled, 'Bang! Bang!' and down came a duck." Mr. Whitmore chuckled. Somebody else must have been doing the shooting. The doctor leaned in with a knowing grin. "Exactly." On his honeymoon, a farmer, Billy, insisted on having a room at the luxury hotel with a balcony overlooking the sea. On retiring for the night after the wedding, his new bride emerged from the bathroom dressed in some very hot nightgown. "Hey, Billy Joe, come in off the balcony and see what I have waiting for you to savor for the first time," she said coyly. "No thanks. I want to sit out here," he said. So Daisy sat down brushing her golden hair for 10 minutes, after which she invited Billy once more to come in off the balcony to take pleasure of her body. Once more, he refused. Eventually, Daisy grew tired of waiting, and she retired to the wedding bed and fell asleep. In the morning, she awoke to find him still sitting on the balcony. "Why did you spend the whole night out there when you could have been making love all night?" she asked. "Well, my pa said the first night of my marriage would be the most beautiful night of my whole life, and I didn't want to miss a moment of it." One evening, a husband was watching his wife as she admired herself in the mirror. Her birthday was coming up, so he asked sweetly, "Honey, if you could have anything for your birthday, what would it be?" Without missing a beat, she sighed dreamily, "I wish I could feel like I was 10 again." The next morning, he woke her up with a grin and said, "Get dressed, we've got a big day." First stop, a massive pancake breakfast drowning in syrup. Then he whisked her off to an amusement park, just like the good old days. They hit every ride, the ones that go upside down, spin sideways, and make your stomach regret being born. She screamed on the roller coasters, got soaked on the log flume, and nearly passed out on the spinning teacups. Then came the cotton candy, funnel cake, and a hot dog with all the works. After that, a trip to the movies with a bucket of popcorn bigger than her head and a soda the size of a toddler. By the time they got home, she was pale, dizzy, and completely wiped out. She collapsed onto the couch, her hair a mess, her eyes barely open. Her husband sat beside her, beaming with pride. "Well," he said, "did I make your birthday wish come true?" She blinked at him, trying to find the energy to speak. I said I wanted to feel like I was 10 again, not like I'd been hit by 10 buses. One quiet night, an elderly lady noticed two strangers creeping around her backyard, heading straight for her shed. She called emergency services. What's your emergency? The operator asked. There are two men breaking into my shed right now, she said, her voice trembling. The operator replied, We'll send someone, but the nearest unit is about an hour away. An hour? They're here now, the woman protested. I understand, ma'am, the operator said, but that's the soonest we can get there. She hung up without another word. 5 minutes later, she called back. Emergency services? What's the situation? The operator asked, recognizing her voice. Oh, it's fine now, the woman said cheerfully. I don't need anyone. I just told my husband to let the dogs out, and they don't like uninvited guests. In less than 5 minutes, her street was lit up with flashing lights and sirens. Officers stormed her yard, arrested the two very startled trespassers, and found the lady sipping tea on her porch. One officer asked, Ma'am, I thought you said you let your dogs out. She winked. And I thought you said an hour. Yesterday, my daughter sent me another one of her classic concerned emails about how I should be doing something more useful with my retirement. Apparently, lounging by the pool with a glass of wine doesn't count. Who knew? She gently suggested I try socializing more, and even recommended the local senior activity center. So today, I decided to follow her advice. That evening, I emailed her and said, Thanks for the push. I joined a club today. Naturally, she was thrilled. Until I added, It's the Sky Adventure Club, and I've got my first jump scheduled for next week. Her reply came in hot. Dad, you're 84. You can't go jumping out of planes. I told her, Don't worry. I've got my official membership card and everything. Then I sent her a picture of the card. 2 minutes later, she called me, screaming. Dad, put your glasses on! That's not a Sky Adventure Club. That's a salsa dance club for singles over 80. I took a long sip of my wine and said, Well, that explains why I was handed maracas instead of a parachute. She didn't say another word. I think I won that round. Little Jenny, just 7 years old, came home from school after her very first family planning lesson. Curious, her mom asked, So, how did it go? Jenny sighed dramatically and said, I was so embarrassed, Mom. Why, sweetheart? Her mom asked gently. Jenny replied, Well, Joanne said babies come from storks. Lily said you can get them from the orphanage. Jack swears they come from hospitals, and I had to tell them the truth. That we were so broke, you and Dad had to make me yourselves.